Okay, welcome to our second rehearsal in Bailey. We have a few remote participants who are watching the rehearsals. It doesn't recognize my Face ID because I have a mask on. Okay. All right, today's order, we will begin with Joseph Bologne's Overture, and we have Tony and Gus on French horn and Joy on oboe with us, okay? At one point, I think I would love to spend maybe the last 10 minutes on the Florence Price, because I think the Vivaldi is going to probably take the entire half an hour. Okay, so everybody who's playing in Florence Price is here. So we'll do about 20 minutes of Bologne and then just read through the Florence Price. There's an event on April, like mid-April. It's sort of a campus-wide event, and I think it's supposed to be sort of a campus-wide event, remembrance of people lost in COVID. So they've asked us to provide some opening music. So I thought there were two things we could do. We could either do the Florence Price. There's also an alumni who wrote a string orchestra piece, which is it's not that difficult, but I'm not so sure that that's going to work because I don't even have the parts yet. So the alumni office is trying to coordinate that effort, but I'm trying to convince them that we should just do the Florence Price because adding another piece to our schedule is really not realistic. So I will give you an update on that, but today we do need to get to the Florence Price and maybe even think about recording it next week for that event. So, okay, but thankfully it's pretty easy. All right, let's tune. Joy, could you give us an A? And then we'll take two A's, lower strings, upper strings, and then horns. Lower strings, could you tune with her? Okay, and then one more A for the upper strings. Okay, I would love to be in 1, but today we'll start in 3 in the presto. Yum bum bum bum, bida bida bum 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 bum. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just lower strings of the 8th notes. Bump, bump, beep, 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 beep. 1, 2, and. Okay, so what are you hearing? What I'm hearing is we really need to articulate much more than you think we need to. Otherwise, it's all mush, right? So especially this opening, this incisive, rhythmic 8th notes has to be as distinct and articulated as possible, not mo, 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 ya, ta, 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 ta. So articulate and separate as much as you can, okay? And when notes are changing, are they less important or more important when they change? That's a trick question. Changing notes are really important. So you have yup, up, 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 up. You can kind of back off on the repeated notes, but when it changes to a new note, yup, up, 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 beep, 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 yup, up, up, okay? First and seconds, could you place a little bit of space before the 16th note? Yum, bum, bum, ba, da, bum, ba, yeah? So it doesn't glide into the 16th note. And 1, 2, 3. 2. Yatta, ti, ti, ta, 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 ti, ti, ta, ta. And yeah, so those triple stops before A, yum, chum, chum, cha. So go towards the last one at 23. Yeah, yum, chum, chum, cha. Right? Second violins, when you have that syncopated bar, ya, da, 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 you have to really come to the forefront there. Yeah? Horns, as marcato as possible in these quarters. Tan, 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 ta. Yeah, you're the hunting horns, right? Here we go. Here we go. One more time. Beginning. And 1, 2, 3. Yup, up, up. 2. Bass. Ya, da, da, da. Seconds. Cello basses and violas. Would you play bum bum beep bum beep bum bum beep bum beep those last 3 bars? And so 20, 2, 0, 1 and 2, 3. Yeah. So there are 2 sets of notes, right? The bottom notes and the top note. The top note that sort of repeats, bum bum, bum bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. The B's, the A's, that's less important. But the moving notes, right? La, sol, re, ra, A, G, D, A, E, C sharp, A. Those are the ones you bring out. Okay, can we do that slow one time? From 20, right at 20. Yum, bum, bim, bum, bum, ba. 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, but even bring out more of the downbeats that is the really more important notes, okay? The A, G, E, C sharp, A, yeah? One more time, same tempo, 1 and 2 and 3. Dum, bum, bum, beam, bum. In tempo, everybody, before A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars. Not just 17, 1, 7. Hi, Gillis. That's good, yeah. Oh, do you need music? I think I took Gillis's folder, so I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. I said 17, right? 1, 7. Is that what I said? Yeah. hang on. So it should not be split up, but it's basically tremolo, 16th notes. Yeah. Okay. 17. 1, 2, 3. And chum chum. So first violins and second violins, is there a way to lengthen these triplets as much as possible rather than yum cha 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 yum chum 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 chum, right? So really kind of roll it if you have to. Really make noise, right? It's as if you're fencing or something. Okay, 17. 1, 2, and. Da dee da dee da, ba beep ba beep ba. 2, 3. 2, 3. Bum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. 2, 3. Okay, so seconds, we really need you, right? Bum bum beep bum 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 beep bum bum bum. Yeah. Let's go A. Letter A. Tiam, tiam, bum, piam, bum, piam. 1 and 3, 1 and 3, 1 and, yeah. And 1, 2, 3. Two. 1, 2, 3, boom, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Bravo. So Joy, you should really take over the sound here, right? So I know it says piano, but you should be really the leading voice here, okay? Seconds and violas at A, don't be hesitant, yeah? It says piano, but da-dim, da-dim. The first of the slurs should be very expressive. Ba-im, da-im, right? When you have this sort of half note chromatic, A sharp B, G sharp A, F sharp B, those are really expressive. So lean into them, okay? A, one time. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so even first violin, when you lean into that second beat, that's backward, right? If you go bi-ya, di-ya, you're actually making the dancers really uncomfortable, right? Ta-ri, ta-ri, right? They were all dancers in the court, right? So it's all gesture, right? They wouldn't have gone di-ya, that's more of a modern dance thing, right? You stomp into the second beat. But ta-ri, there's lift into the second beat. Ba-im, 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 ba-im. And 8. And 1, 2, 3. Tia, tia, bum, tiam, ba. Bum, tia-da, bum, tia-da, tiam, da, bum, bim. That's it. Da-di-da-di-da. Da-di. Tia, tia, da-dum, tiam, da. 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And then. And yum, chum, cha, 1, chum, cha, chum, chum, cha. Repeat. And tum, tum, da. Okay. And then you repeat back to the beginning. Okay, we're going to do that repeat. Two things. Let's go back to 4 before B. So here, first violins and violas. Now the emphasis is not on 1, right? But yum, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So you have to make that emphasis change depending on where the slur is. Seconds, all this yappa, beepa, boppa, beepa, much, much more vitality, right? It's like the pasta without the sauce if you don't hear that, okay? We just have kind of noodly stuff. First violin and oboes. Look at 41, those grace notes. There are two options here, right? You can either make that fast, da-dee-dum, ba-dee. Or you can make it quarter, ta-dee, ta-dee, right? So it depends on how expressive you want to make these grace notes, right? I think in the context of yappa, pipa, pipa, tia is a little bit out of character. So let's make it a fast, da-dee-dum, da-dee-dum, fast grace note. Let's go, how about after A, 32. So you know this concept of two stolen apgazang, two short and longer phrase, right? So when you have a short phrase and it repeats again, right? Sometimes you can do an echo effect, yum bum bum pi yadadum bum bum ba for a phrase, and again yum bum bum pi yadadum bum bum pi dum. Those are the two short phrases. Yadam tiadam 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 dadi yum dadi yum dadam di dum dum da. Right. So we have four, short, and then a long phrase. So you're going to make that structure really clear to everybody. Okay, here we go. 32, 3, 2. And 1, 2, 3. Seconds. Yatta, tita, tita. And ya, ti, ti, tia, ti, tia, 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 tia. Ha! Bravo, bravo. I almost convinced. Now, here's the thing. A until B is all piano. Is that correct? Right? And B is forte. That's the arrival. Okay? But if you just make A one staircase, it's going to be really boring. Right? So I think he does so many different change of character. A, dum, 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 dum. First phrase. And then he decorates it. Diaram, bum, biaram, bum, biaram, bum, tiara. Second phrase. Then he says, okay, we're going to do another short phrase instead of a long phrase. Right? So it's an uneven structure. It should be short four, longer 8-bar, and then a short four, longer 8-bar. But he doesn't do that. He's kind of playing around with the expectation. Right? So he does short 4, variation short 4, and everybody's expecting a long 8-bar phrase. And then he says, no, another short, and then a long one. So then when that arrival of the forte comes, it's so satisfying because he's delayed it. Right? Okay, so with that in mind, A. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And yum bim ba, and the yum bim bum ba, and long phrase and da 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 da. Lam dia tira tira. And 1, 2, 3. Ya di da da di da. And then and zum bim ba. Yum pam pim pa. Hang on. So before we go on. Okay. So at B, what happens? Right? He's psyching us out once again. We have a short 5-bar phrase. Right? Look. B starts da 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 5-bar phrase. We've had even number phrase all the way through. So when he throws this ya di da da di da, that extra scale of down bar is a surprise. So the Parisian audience is going, whoa, Joseph, what are you doing? Right? Then he says, ya di da da di da. We expect a big punch, but he says piano for 4 bars. And then he gives the forte. Right? So it's quite dramatic, everybody. I mean, it is an overture to an opera. B. Baseline. Pam, bum, bim, pam, pim, 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 pa. Very important. Okay? Here we go. B. And 1, 2, 3. And ya di da. Piano. And then ya 2 and Ya and one bim ba. Zum tum tum tam. Two. Okay. We're going to go on for now, okay? We do the repeat, but now we're going to go on. It's as if we've done the second time. Here we go. After the repeat, 2, 3, 4, 65. 1, 2, 3. Body. Okay. Let's look at C. Let's look at C. So first violin, measure 70. I've always disagreed with that slur. Because every time that I think it should be separate. The octave, BB. That makes more sense because everybody else has like third bar C, just like that. It's separate. So I think first time that slur into the first 3/8 note, it makes little sense to me. Okay, so we separate those octave Bs at C. And second violin is same for you on bar 4 of C. Okay, can we go back to right after the repeat sign? So these 30-second notes, it looks scary, but it's just a gestural slide up at the last possible moment, right? And in fact, it should happen in the last 8th note. On 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah? Okay, let's do it slowly. 65. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so our tendency is to want to go on 3, right? Because we're thinking, I need more room. Okay, but it's less dramatic if you spread it out. Okay, so you have to think 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, right? Because it really moves right on the end of 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, that's why you need to slow practice, right? Slow practice. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Bravo. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah. So cello, same thing, right? And a 3. It moves and a 3, right? This can sound really incisive and terrifying, or it sounds muddling and not terrifying, right? Okay, here we go. A little faster. 1 and 2 and 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Da 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 da, ba di ba ba ba. Da di ba ba ba. Bum ba beep beep ba ba beep. Ba ba beep 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 beep. And 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just got to D, all right? So Chelly, if you come in a bar early, then you'll be sunk. Seconds and viola, 75. Seconds and viola, 75. 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, so you are separate, but as you go down towards that E, you're together, right? So can you play that again? It's as if you're two friends, and then you're going to the one place, right? 1 and 2 and 3. What's the most expressive bar there? Is it the first bar, second bar, third bar, or the fourth bar? Third bar. Why? D sharp. However, first bar, you got it in thirds, Second bar, you're in second. And back to third, unison. So out of the four, I think when you're second against each other, that's the most expressive. So, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Could you do that again with that intensity? So the second bar is the most expressive. That this dissonance of the second is going, oh, okay? 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, so what will often happen is the unison bar will sound the loudest. It's just physics, right? Because you're all playing the same note, same wavelength. But the loudest, most intense moment should be when you have the F sharp against the E in the second bar, right? And it's not just the second violins who has to power through, but violas who are holding the E, all of a sudden your same E becomes more expressive in the second bar against their F sharp. Can you do it one more time, please? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. Here. Bravo. Now, but that's a little too exaggerated, right? So we want yari, yori. Right? If you were playing these quarter notes, you could play really beautifully expressively, but you got to do that in the eighth notes. Tutti, C. And then above that, violins have this beautiful melody, yeah? And C, 1 and 2 and 3. Dia-da-di-da. Ya-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-beep. And 2, pong, 3. Ya-da-di, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-ba-beep-ba-beep-ba-dee. Dum pim pam pa yum tam tam ta. And okay, hang on. So just because the note changes up or fourth doesn't mean you don't apply the same principles we did before, right? Lean on the first, away into the diminuendo into the second quarter. At violas and cellos, 80 when you come in, forte, right there. 1, 2, 3. Oh. And okay. What? Hang on. What do you think this is? In an opera, what character are you? Are you the good guy or the bad guy? Yeah, I think this is a bad guy moment. Okay, all right, especially the chromatic, right? So a little more marcato on these half notes. Yeah. One time. G, A sharp, B. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, long tie. Yeah, da, 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 da. Yeah. Hang on a second. Look. G, A. Okay, A is the knife. G, A sharp is the turn. Okay, and then I'm sorry to get violent, but then the eighth note is, I don't know, ba, 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 and then yaga, 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 yaga. Yeah, much more dramatic, please. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. 2, 3. 2, 3, ta, ya, da, 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 yaga, daga, 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 daga. So it's the key is weird. He's going weird places. And then he brings in the horn to say, no, we're back in D major. Okay, all right. Everybody, please. Here is after C, 75, 7-5. First violins, B2 is really important. Ti-ta, 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 ti-ta. Yeah, we're not really hearing that second beat importance. Okay, now 1, 2, 3. One more time. Here we go. Reset. Ready. 1, 2, and. No, C sharp. Don't miss it. Third time, you got to write it in. And 1, 2, and. Hang on. I think that should be a C natural. Can you play C natural? Like, can we just hear what that C natural sounds like? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that makes more sense. Can we keep a C natural? Oh, we found an editing mistake. This is supposed to be a newly edited version. Okay, 75, everybody. And 1 and 2 and 3. And 2 and yatta titta titta daga 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 daga. Horns, tom. Okay, bravo. However, here's the thing about articulating in a wash tub of a place like Bailey Hall, okay? Now, just to give you a little history of what this hall was supposed to be acoustically. See, behind those panels, see the back of the wall, see how there are slots? Those slots are there for a reason. They were supposed to house a free-hanging piece of wood, like cherry or oak, something that resounds really well. Just like the music variety, where the walls are hanging on a wire. So when sound hits it, it's not drywall like it is right now, where sound hits it and goes, that's what happens to the sound back there. So all of those slots were supposed to have these free hanging wood panels. We would hit the sound, and then the wood would go, and then bounce the sound back, right? So that monstrosity of that steel awning, that was supposed to be wood, everybody. Those were cost-saving measures. So what happens in this hall, there's a, okay, I'll turn the microphone off. So this is one of the secrets of Bailey Hall. If you're taking notes, the hall is designed for speech rather than music right now. So they made a number of compromises to make sure Psych 101 gets the best speech transference from podium to class. So all of those measures they've done for best sound acoustics for speech goes directly against what we need to do musically, okay? So that means on stage, if you don't articulate, we won't hear the notes. So second violin and first violin, 82. If you play wah, 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 we won't hear the syncopation. It'll just sound like wah, rather than da, 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 da. You have to separate and move and leave space there. If you begin the whole notes at 80, it really sounds like num. So you have to put a da or a ka, right? A consonant on the note, not a ma or a ah, right? Da, ka, ta, ya, ta, 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 da, 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 da. Okay? Okay, here we go. Before D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars. Sorry, 7 bars. Seven bars before D. Got it? 1, 2, 3. Da. Yatta di da 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 2, 3. Zum pim pim pi and diadam diadam. Here we go, Joy, and yum diada yum bum bum diadam. Long phrase. La di ba di ba da yum tira tira tia and 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And 2, 3, 2, 3. And and zam, tim, ta, yum, ti, zam, tam, tam, ta. Now, we'll do the repeat, but not today, okay? All right, two things. We're at 5:15, so we're gonna take a 30-minute break, okay? Well, what I would love to do is actually go into the lobby area where it's not cold like outside. So bring your parts, and we'll just kind of talk through what we just learned, okay? All right. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the all right, so this way, hang on. Okay. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, it's a little echoey, but we can hear you.
I need to have my microphone on.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay. All right. Really good first reading, everybody. I'm speaking too loud. Okay, there are 4 people on Zoom, so I have to have a way to talk without having. And I'm not muted. Oh my God. Okay. All right, you know what? I think I'm just gonna teach the score analysis without the Zoom. Okay, so you guys can come back at 5:45. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So really great first reading, everybody. I kind of got a little too excited, so I didn't save 10 minutes at the end for the Florence Price, but we'll do that in the second half. There are a couple things that we want to keep in mind as we played the first movement. The principle of music of this era is it is not equal strength, right? So as much as possible, you want to bring in the idea of important beats and then less important beats, right? So even in the very first bar, yum, bum, bum, ba, that 3/4 pattern of 1, 2, 3, right? 1 is the most important, and then 3 is next important, and 2 is the least important in this bar. Yum, bum, bum, ba, right? And then yabba-dabba-dum, bum, bum, ba, yabba-dabba-dum. So the 16th note in B3, that falls in line of this general structure of the 3/4 pattern of 1, 3, 2, right? First and seconds, when you have the 16th note, please put space between the half note and the 16th note. That way there's this impulse. But if you play ya, ya, ba, da, ba, da, we won't hear it. In general, we have to really articulate, okay? Horns, oboes, bum, 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 ba, as marcato and separate as possible. It is not a tenuto line at all. It's sort of a wake-up call. Violas and cellos, whenever notes are changing, then you have to really highlight those change of notes. Okay, and so on. We talked about that syncopated bar, second violins. Who's second violins? Right? So Alyssa, yatta, da, da, really separate. Okay. Anytime we have triple stops strings, yum chum chum, yum chum chum, it's meant to make more sound, more noise, right? Don't be anemic in the length of notes. Okay. All right. A is an example where the slur acts as a way for you to help articulate the first beat. Tiam, piam, bum, piam, ba, tiam, bum, piam, ba. So you walk into the first beat, and then you lift into the second beat. Okay? And then second the violas, you have 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. Okay? So please try to avoid accenting the second beat or the first beat for the seconds and violas. Right? Slur really was understood as a dissipation of energy. Right? Okay. I'll send you my phrase map. It's really important to know what the phrase grouping is in music of this era, because it's all about where the long phrase is, right? So we talked about that yum bum bum pi da da dum bum bum 4-bar, yum bum bum pi ba da bum 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 ba second 4-bar, and ya da ti da ta di ta di ta di ta da dum pi da da 8-bar. Right? So it's really important to know that's a short, long phrase. Okay. Now what's amazing is second time he fiddles with that with structure. Okay. So I will send you my map of the 3 movements, and then would you mark in your parts where the beginnings of each phrase are. Okay. At B, we talked about waiting for the absolute end of 3. Yeah, violas. Right? Yam, bam, bam, yeah? So really wait until the end of 3 to move on the 32nd notes. Cellos and basses. Whenever you have chromatic notes like at B, right? Dam, bum, beam, ba, really bring that out. Okay? After the repeat, that same 32nd note idea, right? And then we talked about separating that tie. 74, first violins. When you have these chromatic notes, da 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 dee da, right? It's sort of a stoppage in time, right? When you have just regular melodies versus chromatic notes, the expression is really different, right? So 74 is a really special place. Okay, seconds of violas, we talked about that dissonant bar 76, F sharp against the E. And if you just look at your part, there's no way you would know that, right? So those places you have to really listen and say, oh, wow, seconds are, that F sharp is against my E, right? So you have to notice dissonances like that. Okay, now so look at E. Whenever something like this happens, it's the same thing as before, but now it's in a different key, right? So first time, what key was it in? First time it started at E, at A, and here now it's starting at A, right? So whenever something repeats, great composers will change something. So you have to observe what is the same. I mean, it's up a fourth, but there will be a bar that departs from what happened in the beginning, right? Anybody know where the departure is? So you have to kind of go back and forth in A and E. That's the same. Same. That's the same, right? 2, 4, 6, 8 bars. Same, right? But then what happens at 116? F. Is it the same as before? As B? Yes, it is. Yeah, violas have the same 30-second sextuplet thing, right? But then at B, we have that piano fake out, right, for 4 bars. Here, it doesn't have a fake out. It goes straight. So 5-bar phrase, straight into 4-bar, and then repeats another 4-bar, but both times a forte. And then yum da 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 yum da da da, right? So the only difference really is that fake out piano 4 bars after the 5-bar phrase in the beginning, right? Which is equivalent to, let's see. So after F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bar, which is 123, 121, is an equivalent bar for 53, right? So same 5-bar phrase, then the first time is piano, but now it's forte, and forte twice. So that first time at 53, when it's piano, that is such a big surprise because nobody's expecting that. Right? So you have to really highlight that, okay, we're gonna come back here. And then second time you punch the forte twice. Okay. All right. Second movement can really get boring if you don't phrase, right? So we'll get into that. Presto. These grace notes are quick. So they're really quick. And we have these sort of canonic entrances, like at K, first violins, you enter the first bar, and the second bar of K, second violins enter. N, measure 302, is a really interesting place. It's a conversation between first violin and second violins. Christine, was it this movement? You had a pizzicato question? Yeah. I think that this is arco. Yeah, that's arco. Yeah. So what bar was that? 332 is arco. 332 is arco. 332. 332. Yes, so the arco is missing at 332. Okay, so violas and cello should be pitched all the way until 331. Okay. So the pizzicato starts, yeah. Got it? Okay, it's 5:28. Go use the bathroom, relax, and then we'll begin again at 5:45. Okay, and then we'll start with Vivaldi. So Gus, Tony, Joey, you're done. Yeah. Hi, Danielle, Rico. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Score study on the first movement, basically, pointing out some places to emphasize in terms of when. If you can pull up your scores from the Google Drive, you should follow along the score and give us feedback if you can. What's really helpful is, so how is the sound on Zoom when the orchestra plays?
It's a bit muddled, but we can still hear it, but it's not the best.
Can you say that again?
It's a little bit muddled.
It sounds a little muddled. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just the audio quality.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what I'm hearing as well. So I've been really trying to emphasize everybody to really articulate things as much as possible. So when there's syncopation like ba 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 ba, right, places like that, they have to really separate. After the break at 5:45, we'll begin with Vivaldi. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. do just the first movement and maybe just start the second movement? Would that be all right? All right, so let's begin our second half-hour rehearsal. So Lindsay just brought up this issue about what are we going to wear for our performance. So first of all, let's just talk logistics for a little bit in terms of our concert, because we're not clear to have people in the halls. So, and I kind of went back and forth with this in terms of, do we do a live stream versus we do a recording and then broadcast that at a later date? And I think in talking to a number of my colleagues who are doing similar concerts, the logistics of a live stream doesn't offer much more benefits, right? In the fact that the only real thing that, in some ways, it's live. It's happening in real time, right? But there can be technical glitches. So I think in terms of presenting a concert, I think we would have a better performance that we can present if we have a chance to spend 2 days to record, and then we'll have multiple cameras set up. And the nice thing about Bailey is we have access to these high definition cameras. There are like 5 of them, right? So we can have multiple angles. And so what we'll ask them to do is record all 5 cameras, and then we can sort of edit the best shots that fits the music, okay? So, and Alfred Grunwell, who's the recording engineer who's gonna help us with this, is gonna put together the videos for us, okay? So what'll happen, and because all the music that we have rented, we've basically rented a 2-week sync license, which means we can't have it on Cornell Cast forever because that would have been way too expensive. So Bernstein itself, for example, the sync rights was 20% of the rental. So, and that was for a 2-week sync right. So, and then there was a 6-month sync right, and then there was a perpetuity sync right, which I don't think anybody can afford anymore. So what we'll do is we'll record, probably we'll take one of the days just for Bernstein, okay, on like a Saturday, 2 hours. And then the Sunday, we'll record the Bologne, the Vivaldi, and the Price. Okay, all right. And then our engineers will probably need a week or so to put everything together. And then we'll announce when the broadcast will be. So you can send the links to that broadcast link to your family and friends. And that'll be up for 2 weeks so that they don't have to make it at that time. They have sort of a 2-week window to catch it. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then for that, so that means we'll, on both Saturday and Sunday, May 1 and 2, we'll have to be in sort of concert dress, right? And so I'm not a big fan of like tuxedo and like really formal concert wear. So in years past, the chamber orchestra did this thing where we're in black, so black shirt, black skirt, something very nice and presentable, but everybody had some kind of red Cornell accent accessory, whether it be a socks or ties or hairpin or whatever. That's your free choice. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go to the Vivaldi. Alex is a soloist. Hi, Alex. Eventually, I have all kinds of contact mics and things to amplify Alex. Okay, so but today we'll deal with the sound as it is. Okay. All right, let's tune. Kira, do you have a good A? Yeah. Is that about a good tempo, Alex? Little? Okay, here. Okay, hang on. So especially in Vivaldi, you have to think weight of note, right? So the three notes, da-da-dee, are not going to be equal. What is the most emphatic note there? Zach? First one, yes. So it should be da-da-ya, da-da-ya, not dee-da-da, dee-da-da, or da-da-ya, dee-da-ya. And sometimes because it's a dotted eighth note, that's what it'll sound like. Dee-da-ha, dee-da-ha, right? So dee-da-ya, dee-da-ya. So you have to actually taper off the dotted eighth and leave it and let it be. Da-da-ya, da-da-ya, dum bum bim bum, da-da-ya, da-da-ya, dum bum bim bum. Okay. 2, 3, dum bim bum. And da-da-ya, da-da-ya. Dum dee ba da ba. 2. Okay, so cello and bass. We have to really lighten up in our stroke, right? And when you have a series of eighth notes like that, like 13, 14, 15, 16, so on, right? You have to really decide, okay, what is the most important eighth note that I'm going to bring out, right? So just a couple principles, right? When you have a figure like re, mi, fa, re, right? What is the most important? Ra, ra, di, ra. Ra, ra, di. So I would say the D is the most important. La di dum bum di da di bum di da dum bum. Because that first of the every half note, you're kind of spelling out the harmony, right? Ya da bum la si do da la di dum bum ba di dum bum ba di dum bum da di dum. And then when you have this figure of G, like 14, second half, G F sharp G G, right? What is the least important? The octave. Right? Because we already heard the high G, low G, right? So da di dum bum bi da dim bum. Yeah. So ease up on the last octave. Okay. Ya da 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 di da 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 di da 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 di right there, which is 14, 13, 11. 2, 3, and. Okay. So general rule of Baroque playing, right? We'll have eighth, 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 eighth quarter note, or 16, 16, 16, and quarter note. So when you have that last note is a long note, most composers would have understood that the musicians would know not to hold on to that long note, right? Because it would be completely uncharacteristic for you to play bum, bum, bim, bum, pam, right? So you continue the length that you have just been playing. So yeah, but it might be a little bit longer than just the 16th, but not a quarter note, right? And then especially if it's eighth notes, yum bum 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 bum. Okay, all right, one more time. 2, 3, and 2. Yum bim bum bum. Bida bada bida bada. Okay, let's regroup a little bit. First, seconds, and violas, could you play that measure, 16, 17, 18, 1, 8. Yada, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Yeah, just like the seasons, right? It's the same figure. Yada, da 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 da. What is the most important? Is it ya da dee da dee da 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 dee 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 da, or is it ya da dee da dee dee da 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 dee 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 da? Which is it one or two? One? I think the movement here is towards two. Ya da dee da dee da 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 dee da dee da da. Yeah. Ya da dee da dee da 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 dee da dee da da. Okay, here we go. Right there. 16, 17, 18. 1, 8. 2, 3, 4. Alex, you know where we are? Do you know where we are? Yeah. Here we go. I couldn't hear you, so yeah. 2, 3, 4. 1. So, Alex, is it? I know we. I was really trying to have the contact mic and everything here today, but I just couldn't get everything here. So we will have it for next week. Okay. But is there any way you can play a little louder? That's about okay. All right. Okay. Same thing. One more time. 18. 2, 3, 4, 1. Yep. So 1 and done. And you gotta come right away. You're just the 8th note lead there. Okay. 3, 4. 1. Okay. So Alex, you're not starting the right place. Okay. You're a little bit late. Okay. Okay. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1. Bravo. And 1. Repeat and. Yeah. We'll do the repeat both times. Okay. Is that correct, Alex? Or are you just doing the second repeat? So now we can just skip ahead, but are we planning to do both repeats in the concert, or are we just doing the second repeat? Both repeats. Okay, yeah, that's what I just wanted to know. Okay. Can we just do the last 4 bars? And cello and bass, for today especially, because it's really hard to hear Alex, you have to really lighten up even more. Yeah, okay. Last 4 bars, measure 20. 2, 3, 4. One more time. Last 4 bars, please. 20. Yeah, here we go. 2, 3, and. And then 1. Repeat and. Right. I just wanted to do the repeat once. I wanted the whole thing, but we gotta get used to repeating. So when we do repeat, we'll play just like the first couple bars, but then we'll jump ahead. But you have to get used to repeating. Okay. Otherwise, you'll not repeat in the concert. Last time, 4 bars, 20. We'll repeat, play 2 bars, stop, and then go on to the 24. Okay. Here's 20. 2, 3, and. One. Repeat and. Bravo. Okay, 24. 24. After the repeat. 2, 3, and. Yeah. Can I just take cello and bass? Not all the way back from 29. Just cello and bass. 29. 2, 3, 4. One E sharp. Ready, 2, 3, 4. Da. 22/9. Yes, that's what bar with the E sharp, correct? Yeah, 2, 3, and. Yeah, so you have to really lighten up on the eighth notes. Da-da-dim, bum, bum, but it's sounding da-da-bum, bum, da-da-bum, bum. So it's quite heavy-footed. So da-da-dim, bum, ba-da-dim, bum, ba-da-dim, bum, right? So in this music, this figure, the 16th note would have had a little more vitality, right? So you want to back off on the eighth notes a little bit, especially because we're going to cover Alex. Okay. All right, everybody, let's go. And then upper strings, when you come in half note before 30, right? Try not to do too much there because that will create sound waves and wall of sound where we can't hear Alex, right? So as much as possible, it's about bow direction rather than left hand, okay? All right, 24. 2, 3, and. Bravo. So first and seconds, when you have this long half note, be on the background, being the behind the sound, and then when you play the 16th, yum da da dee da, that's you come to the forefront. All right, both times at 34 and then at 31. Let's see. Let's start at 34, 33, 32, 32. 2, 3, and. And 3. Two and 3. Yeah, just one thing, first and seconds. Figure at 34, right? Just like figure at 37, right? Where it's da-da-dim-dum, that's the beginning of the phrase. So that D after the C sharp or F sharp, right? That's a resolution. D, C sharp, D. And it finishes the phrase. But if you do C sharp, dum, da-da-dum-dum, then it becomes another start. Da-dee, da-da-dum-dum. So make a new phrase out of the 16th note, just like 37. Okay? Do-re, 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 da-da-dum-bum. Okay? 30, what did I say? 4, 3, 2. 32. 2, 3, 4. Da-da-dim-bum. Bravo, bravo. That was much better, but still much less on the resolution D, T. So just like C sharp, D, C sharp, D, C sharp, D, da-da-da-bum. Yeah, okay. 32. 2, 3, and. Da-da-ding-bum. Bravo. Three. 3 and 4. Yum bum ding bum. One and 2 and. Yabba bud. Yum bim bum bim bum. And then we would repeat again. So the first time we wouldn't do any of the rallentandi, right? Yum bum bim bum ba and repeat. Okay? But the second time we would do yum bim bum bim bum. Does it make sense? Right? So let's play it as if it's the first time from 49. Okay? And many times when you're not sure, you don't start Don't start so hesitant. It's forte right from the beginning of that 16th note figure, okay? Here's 49, right on it. Ready, and 1, 2. Ya-da-dee-da. Zam-bim-bum-bim-ba. Repeat. Zam-bum-bim-ba. One more time, one more time. Can we just do that repeat one more time? Yeah. So two things. When we have this figure, ya-da-da-da-dee-da-da-da-dee, all the time, like halfway into 50 sounds fantastic, but the pickup to two beats into 50 always sounds a little bit hesitant, as if you're not quite sure where we are, right? So right from beat 3, when it starts, 16th note starts, be really confident. Okay, one more time. This is the first time, 49. 2, 3, and 3. Ya-ba-dee-ba. Dum-bum-bee, repeat. Zam-bum-bim-ba. Bravo, bravo. Just a question on that right there at 24. Is it ya-da-dum, bi-da-dum, yum-bum-bim-ba, ya-da-dum, bi-da-dum, yum-bum-bim-ba? Or is it the other way? Da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, yum-bum-bum-ba, ya-da-dum, ba-da-dum, yum-bum. I think it's the second way, right? Because I think the 8th notes, which are longer note value, is less interesting. So if you do ya-da-dum, bi-da-dum, yum-bum-bum-ba, it sounds a little backwards, right? So ya-da-dum, ba-da-dum, yum-bum-bim-ba, ya-da-dum, ba-da-dum, yum. Bravo. 49, as if it's at the end. It's the ending, okay? So we'll do a little rallentando before the fermata, okay? And maybe a little lift, right? But each time that lift gets longer and longer, so don't do too much, okay? Here we go. 49, 2, 3, and 2. Zum bum bim bum pa. So, Kira, can you lead that without me, right? Everybody watch Kira. Ready, 49, ready, and 1, 2. Bravo, but maybe just a hair more smidgen daylight between the last 8th note and the fermata. Yeah? Together, 49, and watch Kira. Ready, and 1, 2. Bravo, but you guys really have to pay attention to the last 2 beats, okay? Yum, bum, bim, bum, ba, yeah? Right? Bravo. Okay, I do want to read Florence Price, so let's go to Florence Price. Thanks, Alex. Yes. Time flies. Next week, we'll do second movement first, okay? Next week, we'll do second movement first. Okay. So I uploaded both the original organ version, which has all of the dynamic and shading and all of that in it. And part of it, I want to make this arrangement ours, right? So I intentionally left some of the dynamics out, right? And I left some of the poco-rit, all of that stuff out. But you have the original organ version as well, okay? And I'll also send you multiple links of the piece. I think there are like 4 different string orchestra arrangements. The reason I sort of chose to do a new one is that most of the arrangement is really top heavy in terms of the violin getting all the melody all the time, right? So in the coda, when it comes back, it's different sections have melodies. So all of the sections in this arrangement has sort of not quite equal, but you all get to get a shot at the melody, okay? All right, here we go. I'm in slow 4, 2, 3, and. Yeah, all of the quarter note folks, if you could really pronounce your quarters, because otherwise we have no idea what the pulse is. So jum, 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 a little more articulation of the quarters in this space. I think we can do this without me. Yeah? 2, 3, and. More quarter notes. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. More seconds. 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. One, two. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Crescendo and 4, 1, 2. Diminuendo. 1, 2, 3. Crescendo here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. More celli. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. D sharp. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And come on, Shelly, you have the melody. Ti-dum, pi-dum, ta-di-da-di, la-da-di. A tempo. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1. So when you have the melody, so cellos, when you come back with the melody the second time, first violins, you have to kind of really back off there. All right. Now there's no dynamics right now, but listen across to where the melody is. All right. Second violins, when you have the melody, do you know what that is? Yeah. So there you have to really play out. Okay. There are times when the first and the cello have the melody together. In those cases, cellos, you have to really come up in volume. So it's really fused two voice melody. Okay. Can we just do it one more time, all the way through? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So you need a second violin part? Yes. Okay. All right, here we go. One, two, three. More quarter note pronouncement. Eighth note. Da, 1, 2. Seconds of violas. Here's the melody. Ti, da, di, da, di, do, di, da. To hold on to the F. Da, 1. Cello bass. Ti, da. First. Violas. First. Violoncello. First. Nobody plays. 2. Change of note. 2, 3. A little slower. 2. First and second together. More seconds. More seconds. Ya, da, dee. Cello line. Dee, da. Violoncello. Ya, dee, ta, dee. Yo. First and cello. Ya, dee, oh. Second violins. Cello in first. Violas. Violoncello. And. Less first and seconds. More definition quarter notes. Jum, jum. First violins. More seconds there on that octave. And first and seconds. Second octave. More second violins. Seconds of violas. 2, 3, 4. Di, da, da. First and seconds. Ta, di, da, di, da, di. Violoncello change. Bravo. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to propose to the committee that we'll make a recording of the Florence Price to be the opening piece for their the April 17 something broadcast, rather than try to learn a different piece by an alumni, which is a nice piece. It's a really beautiful piece, but that's a much more complicated piece. Okay. Let's pack up. Now, here's a direction that I got from Kenny, the sound engineer and the house manager. The chair racks cannot hold more than 10 chairs. So he's asked us to just put 10 on each rack, right? And then the stand rack can only accommodate 12 on either side. And that's all we got to do. And we can just kind of leave it in that position and we're done. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for a beautiful rehearsal. Hey, Alex.